Hey everyone, this is alexusadays, and today I'm answering a question about bootcamps and bootcamp recommendation. So one of the subscribers asked what bootcamp did I attend and do I have any bootcamps that I would recommend. So for those of you that don't know, I'm actually an instructor with Career East Bootcamp. I've been doing it for about 5 years now. I mean, that's one of the best bootcamps out there. What bootcamp did I attend personally? When I was start as QA engineer, I was starting with Portnov Computer School. So you can look them up as well. There are quite a bunch of options for bootcamps right now. My thing about bootcamps, and I'll be completely honest with you what I think and how you should approach them. A lot of them promise you to give you everything, including a job by the end of the bootcamp, right? But the reality of the market is right now it's hard to land a job, especially if you're a junior QA engineer. Now, what I would look at bootcamp as the beginning of a journey, right? If you want to have a bootcamp experience, they will hold your hand. They will go with you through all the technologies that you need to become QA engineer. You'll get a nice certificate at the end. You will have hands-on experience. You will have practice, maybe even internship. So that's all great, but this is still beginning of your journey. It is hard to land a job right now in this market. And technologies are always changing, right? Sometimes boot camps have a program that they follow on, and something is already new, is trendy and getting popular. Like for example, right now is Playwright with JavaScript is very popular. Not a lot of boot camps offer that. There might be some introductions, some boot camps doing something more stable, like Selenium with Python, like Erased. But in general, what can I say? If you're starting a boot camp, right, make sure that you pick one that provides internship, where you will not only pick up some technologies in course in terms of like bootcamp program, but you will actually have something hands-on. Because the internship you can then show as a work experience in your resume. You can talk about it. You can say what you've been doing on your projects. That's very important. It is very hard to land a first job if you just have bootcamp and no real work experience. So if you're looking for a bootcamp, make sure you find one that gives you that. It has to have some internship program that is going with the bootcamp. It has to be some job, like real environment that you can say, okay, I've been doing this as my first job or as part of a bootcamp internship program, so you can show that experience, right? Another thing, picking up bootcamp is great and it will give you the fundamentals, but also you have to watch the trends, right? You have to watch the market, what is popular right now. So Playwright, I definitely recommend getting into Playwright for automation. All other tools that are still pretty popular, like Jenkins, Postman, and right now you also want to pick up like a combination of tools. So you don't want to strive for manual QA, or you want to have kind of a full stack QA position from your start, from your get-go. So that means you want to do a little bit of coding, not necessarily automation, but still go in there. You want to be able to look into APIs. You want to do some backend testing, maybe using Postman. Maybe you should be able to look into databases. So it's a little bit of everything. Even though for manual QA engineers, there's still jobs out there for manual QA engineers. A lot of positions just now becoming quality assurance engineers without manual, or if it is specifically automation, it says so. If a job is just QA engineer without manual part, most likely you will have to do like a mix of things. Companies want today they're moving like to having a consultant, a QA engineer that knows stuff, and they help developers to test. They may be going to develop some approach or overall like strategy of testing. Will be hands-on, but they want you to tap into Postman and get some API testing going. They want you to create like documentations. They want you to test manually, maybe start looking in some automation going forward, and so on. So a lot of companies asking like a complete set of things in one person, which is hard to do and almost impossible, to be honest, right? There's a reason why QA is broken into manual and automation. Maybe we're going to have just QA as a full stack in automation now, nothing purely manual. The industry is trying to move away from that term. But all I'm saying is, if you start a bootcamp program, right, you get hands-on experience, make sure that there is practice. Then make sure there are new and modern technologies involved, right? Then make sure once you finish that there's support, that you will be trained on the interview process, how to answer questions. You will get questions and answers. You'll have some guidance with your interview process, and also support while you're searching for a job, because a job search right now can take several months, right? Now, once you're done with your bootcamp, don't stop. Because the nature of the technology right now for quality assurance or for development, for any job out there that is in tech, things are always changing. So you worked on a bootcamp, you have a certificate that you can show, you have work experience through your bootcamp on your resume that you can post on LinkedIn, you have your LinkedIn updated, you have your resume updated. So essentially, you're ready to go and start doing something. Well, don't waste your time. Um, Sign up for some freelance. Start doing some Upwork for QA. Start doing some other projects that you can find online for QA engineer. There's so many different websites that you can do freelance QA. You can just search, so you can actually have some additional work experience going in parallel. And start learning new technologies. Right, pick up some Udemy courses, watch some YouTube videos and courses, start building something for yourself, start practicing. That's with addition with the bootcamp. Because if you just go through a bootcamp program, you will search for a job for several months, and you stop practicing, you're gonna lose your skills really fast. In tech world, it's kind of use it or lose it. Programming, creating test cases, testing, all of that stuff, you have to practice it. You have to um, be involved with it all the time. Otherwise, you forget. And when you forget, it's gonna get harder to land the job. It's gonna get harder to pass the interview. So it has to be ongoing practice. Plus, in the industry, there's always something new coming out. So you have to be up with the trends. Once you start working as a QA engineer, that means you start continuously learning. You will pick up one technology after another. When you switch jobs, you will pick up new technologies. So I've been in industry now for like what, 12, 13, 14 years, some good amount of years already. I've been in semiconductor industry, I've been in crypto, e-commerce, web-based gaming, medical API, banking. Different industries, different approaches to testing, different tools. Some industries are more relaxed, like startups, where you can get go in and figure it out as you go. Other industries are like corporate, they are more regulated. There might be a lot of different processes already set in place, a lot of documentation and standards that you have to follow along. So there are all those different things. Now, when you land one job, and if you work there for 2, 3 years, you land another one, and it's a little bit of a different industry or completely different industry. That means you can take your testing foundation, you can take your testing skills, you can take your skill of creating test cases, checklists, and test plans, and some automation, some maybe programming, whatever you have under your belt. You can take some of it, but also there will be a huge amount of learning still, because new industry means new regulations, new standards, new tools, new equipment. I'll give you an example. So when I was working with Wi-Fi, so semiconductor, we were doing X-Chariot to generate traffic, iPerf connectivity, measuring throughput, a lot of things to do. So combination of networking and testing, right? A lot of things to do with quality of videos that goes through, a lot of things to do with the throughput, like how's your internet and so on and so on. A lot of different things, how it works with multiple devices, uh, connecting, disconnecting, tons of stuff, right? So that's a niche industry. In a way, it is a niche industry. There are some uh, Wi-Fi equipment, and there are some companies that use it. I mean, there's a good amount, but still, it's a niche industry. Now, once you move from that, let's say, so after working in Wi-Fi semiconductor, I went into e-commerce. Right? It was a mix of things. There was e-commerce, plus we have crypto, and plus there was gaming. So now you talk about game design, right? You talk about gamification of different processes for getting like rewards in crypto. You talk about trading. You talk about testing transactions. So a lot of things that you were doing. specifically with Wi-Fi are no longer applicable. The tools that you are using are no longer there. You are working in lab settings, in lab environment as a Q engineer. Now you're working more kind of a, I don't know, on Amazon, essentially, right? You have everything hosted on Amazon, your database, and you work with cloud now, um, and the game and the database there, and it's just different, right? The processes, now you're looking more at the UI and the engine of the game engine, or if we talk about store, you talk about different payment methods and exchange and how to like verify transactions, stuff like that. So now you start learning that, right? And I worked for that for some time. Then you go to something else. Now you go to medical field. So I went to medical field. There you start learning about HIPAA, privacy, PHI, personal health information, regulations that are for that particular medical history, like different medical codes. So the thing with quality assurance, right? Bootcamp is a great way to start. You show a certificate. If you're going to land the first job with that, if you're going to go and start doing something, but it's still a beginning. After you're done with your bootcamp and after you're done with your job, maybe you're going to say work in one industry for 10, 20, and for 50 years in banking, something like that. Yes, you're going to be expert in banking. But as soon as you step out, you find something else, still quality assurance, but now it's an auto industry or, I don't know, it's a real estate. You got to learn a lot of new things. And this process is ongoing, it's always there. Even if you move from one bank to another, you're still going to have to learn things, how the bank is doing it differently from the previous place. Yeah, that's one of the things, right? So even though I recommend the bootcamp careerist, or I recommend just in general searching for bootcamps and starting with a bootcamp, I tell you this: make sure they provide you with practice, hands-on practice, internship. Make sure there's support on interview process and the resume and LinkedIn, all that stuff. But also, don't forget, you're just starting there. That's a beginning of your journey, and you will be self-learning going forward until you work in the industry. That's just how it is. Okay. So hopefully this was helpful. This was Alex, USA Days. Thanks for watching and bye bye.